we are actually getting to the aspect where we will start building the real websites. All this while we are trying to learn the individual building blocks that will be used to put the entire website together. So we have been learning tags. Hope you are hearing me.
Yes, sir.
We have been learning tags, and if I could remember, we have learned a lot of tags. We have learned a
Yes, sir.
lot of tags. So we still have one more tag to actually master after this table, which is form. Once we have designed form, then we will start looking at how to assemble a complete website using all these tags we have been learning. So let me just quickly create a new file just to run through most of the things we did last time. Probably maybe uh, before we get to where we'll start the form, he will have been able to join. Are you with me?
Okay, sir.
Okay, so I told us in that class that HTML table is one of the key HTML elements which is used for presenting two-dimensional data in a web page. Don't forget, I mentioned different scenario where as a developer you can apply HTML table in presenting your data. I mentioned timetable, I mentioned roster, I mentioned displaying images in array. So let me quickly create a simple one because as if I cannot find the one we did the other times, like I use my other laptop. So we explain some tags that are associated with table development. I said the table itself, to declare it, you type what? Table tag. And then after that, you expand it, then you create table row,
Mm.
TR, and then inside the TR, you declare
Okay,
what?
it's okay.
Table,
It's okay. Don't put that one.
you declare table headings. And your table heading, I will just make it very simple. Your table headings can be, let's say, can be your first name, your first name. Another table heading, TH, can be your middle name, your middle name. Another, uh, let me make them one. Table H can be your last name. Then we can also have TH, which can be your gender. We can have another TH, which can be your state. So let's just do one more for TH, which can be your tail. Now let's look at the front end. Let's look at the front end. So you see, so I also said by default, the table does not bring out the grid lines. So you have to be the one to activate the grid line. But before that, let's create other content. So outside the first TR, you create another TR. This one is for holding the table data, which is represented by TD. So we create TD for the first name, let's say Prosper. We create another TD for the middle name, let's say Egwero. We create another TD for last name, let's say Egwero. Create another TD. So the TD is for adding data under each of the defined headers. So this one is male. So the number of your TD must be equal to the number of the TH you declare. This one is for the state. Let's say Delta state. Then the next TD is for the telephone number 070-6966-5919. So let's check the front end and see the appearance. So we have been able to create just one record for the header. Now, to save our time, so we can get to where we're actually going, we'll copy this TR that generated our record, and then we'll paste it. We are still inside the table. Paste like, let me just paste like 5. So let's check the front end. So we have a table. So the next thing I taught us was how to activate the grid lines. Hope you are still with me. How to activate the grid lines.
Yes, sir.
So when I said to activate the grid line, you use CSS. So let me use internal CSS to do that. So let me just create style tag and wrap all my CSS inside it. So supposing you class your table to be TB1, and then the first row that is holding all the header, I would like to style it uniquely. So let me also assign a class. Let's say what? TR1. So I could just go inside this and say dot TB1, the comma, TH, comma, TD. So once it affects the TD, automatically it will have affected the table row. Now, why I call all of them, why I selected all the elements instead of just table, because the grid lines I want to activate should affect not just the table, it should affect the TD, it should affect the TH. And then, of course, why I did not call TR, I know that the TD, the collection of TD form what? The table row. So once all the TD, which are the individual cells, activate the borderline, definitely it will affect what? The TR. That is the reason why I did not bother to select it. So I will just say border, and then I'll start by calling the thickness of the line, and then the type of line to be solid, and then the color of the line. Let me make it red so that it can be visible. So if I check my front end, you'll notice that I have all what? My lines activated. So another thing we did is to expand the table so that it can cover, let's say, the entire page, or increase it to a certain percentage. Now, in that case, you don't program it for all this. That is applicable to only table. You are not stretching all of them to 100%. Once you stretch the table, definitely the rest will be affected. So that will not take us to waiting the table. 100%. So we'll call it by class TV. So I will select the table. I will say width 100%. Say width 100%. So if I go back to my front end, I've been able to do that. Another thing I showed us was the alignment. Discover that the headers are not aligned with the record under them. So, and again, we would like to make all the header to be capital letter before we even align them. So thank God that we are able to class the row. You remember I classed the table row that is holding all the header separately. So now instead of talking to all the table row, I can just use the class name to talk to only the row holding all the headers. So I could just say what styling only the row holding my headers. So to do that, dots and then paste. So that is the class of that row. So I will first of all start by alignment, test align. I would like to align them to the left. So let's check now. So we have been able to align them. So I also want them to be transformed to capital letter. That is test transform, uppercase. So let's check also. Now, the next thing I taught us was how to disable how to collapse one of the line. We don't need two lines, two border lines. We just need one. So, and in fact, to remove it, it is only the table that you apply it. You cannot apply it here. Once you remove it from the table, it will be removed from all. So let's try it. This is where table is selected only. So I will say border collapse, border collapse, border collapse. I will say collapse. So let's go there and check. So with this, we have destroyed one line. I think David is around, is here now, right? Okay, Prince, okay. All right. So now we have been able to destroy one line. So another thing I taught us was how to create an hover effect on each of these rows. So whenever the user hovers on each of them, then it should focus by displaying differently from others, and that is applicable to all the rows. So let me do that only. So I said adding hover effect, adding hover effect to all the row, to all the rows. So I will just select TR. Then remember the syntax. You bring in your column, you say hover before you declare your coiling bracket. So the hover effect, the background color will change to black, and the text color will change to, let's say, gold. So for now, just want to get to where I stop. So if I hover on any of this, you can see what is happening here. Now, I want to show us something. Now, let's assume, so this is a new topic now. I think I've gotten to where we stop. Now, if this happened to be a timetable, you are going to have like 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. as one period. Let's say 11 a.m. to 12, another period. Then you have break. So let's assume that here now, where we have last name, is going to be break. And you know, in most cases, this break will be vertically placed in the cell instead of horizontally placed like this. So the next topic, I just have two topics to touch. Once I've touched that and how to use table to create a gallery page, how to use table to wrap image array, then that will bring us to the end of table. So everything I have run through now is part of what we did last time because I couldn't find the table I created with us in the class. Now, how to create a vertical text in a table. That is the next one. Now, if you look at this particular table structure, we will go to which of the header do we actually want to create the vertical text. Now, before we create the vertical text, I want us to observe something. We need to collapse the whole of this. We need to merge them together so that this text last name will occupy the whole of this cell. So that is taking us to what we call row span and column span. To span means to spread across multiple rows and multiple columns. When you are saying that this row will span from here down to number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So when you are going vertical like this, that is row span. The way you are going horizontal like that is column span. Now, I'm going to show us how both of them work. In table, let me see if I can quickly go to Microsoft Word and show us an equivalent of what we want to achieve with our code so that you will easily understand the concept behind row span and column span. Now, supposing you go to insert in your Microsoft Word and you go to table and you create something like this. You know, if I highlight all this like this and I go to a layout and I select merge cell, you see what I've done now? I have collapsed all the cell in this column to become one. Are you with me? Are you guys here?
I'm lost, sir.
Oh, hope you are not distracted there because I don't expect you to lose. I brought us back to Microsoft Word. I have not started coding just to show us what we are about to achieve. Exactly.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
We are used to Microsoft Word now. What we want to write code to achieve now? Where we will have where we merge the whole of this like this. You can see what I did now. Then we can also merge like this. So you
Okay, merging method.
good. Now, what I'm saying now is that we want to use code to achieve something like this, where here now we merge across how many columns? 1, 2, 3, 4. Here, for us to achieve this shape, this space, we merge across how many rows? 1, 2,
One, two.
3, 4. Now, when you merge vertically like this, it's called what? Row span. It's
Okay.
called row span. Then where you merge like this across column, it is called what? Call span. Is that clear?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
sir.
Now I'm going back to the coding page now and achieve that. So I want to merge from last name. So I'll go inside the tag that produced that particular header. If you're to be timetable, this could be where you created your break, the break period. So you space, you say what? If you say row span, can you see the command now? So if I click here now,
Hmm.
and then I am supposed to count the number of rows I want to span. Now this is last name. That place where you have the last name is one row, second row, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. So it means that if I want to merge to have this space that we have in MS Word now, we have to specify how many of them here. 6.
Which is six.
Good. Now, if I go back to the front end now, what have you seen now? Can you see what happened now?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Good. Now, if let's go and do colon span. So let's assume,
Okay, you go to the page that you want to do the row spam and impute it.
yes, look at this header. This particular TH is the one responsible for the last
The
name.
row spam.
Yes, where I want to merge from. Because
Okay, okay.
the idea is that I want to give the whole of this cell to only what? Last name. So
Last name.
good. So I have to merge all the rows there. Now, if I want to give this and this to where I have state and cells, now I want to merge them together. That is going to be what? Call span. So if I go to that cells, the one that the TH that produce it, and I type call span, So you specify, if I say 2, it will break what? 2 column. Look at it here. Can you see what happened here?
Yes.
If I want to add the states, what will I do? I'll put what? 3 here, right? I'll put,
Yes, sir.
now let's go back there and check. What do you see now? Good. Now, the next thing I want to achieve, this particular test now, I want to make it vertical, to stand like this, vertical, not horizontal. That is another CSS property to achieve it. So what I am going to do, I will class this particular TH so that I can talk to only this. So let me just add class so that, because if I call TH now, it will affect all of them. And I don't want to convert all of them to what? Capital letters. So let me just class it as what? TH1. Now, if I go to my CSS now, I will just say, let me use a comment, styling, last name to be vertical, vertical tests. That is what I'm about to do here. So I will use that class that I just gave to, which is what? Dot what? TH1, so that I can
1.
only that particular one. Then there is a CSS property you use for that, which is called writing mode. Can you see this TSS? Writing what? Mode.
Mode.
You will now specify what? Vertical what? Right, or vertical what? Left. So I'll choose any of this. So if I choose this, if you go to the front end now, what did you notice? Can you see what
It
happened?
has. Yes.
Good. It's now vertical, but I want it to face up. I want the L to be under, then this E will be up, because as if it's turned upside down, right?
Yes.
No, now good. Now for me to make it to face up, I will add another CSS property. I will just come here and say what? Transform. Transform. Then I will use what? Transform, rotate.
Rotate.
Transform, rotate. Then I will say a 180. 180 degree, which is what? DEG. So now let's go back and check. Any difference? Can you see what happened?
Yes.
What happened, please? Somebody should explain to me.
The thing now is like it's facing up.
Good, but it's not
It's easy. Is it easier to read?
good now, but it's not at the center of this cell, right?
Yes.
So how do we put the whole of this at the center?
It's a margin left.
Holy Ghost fire. Which kind? Which kind of magic? Test align. Have you forgot to test align what? Center.
Center.
Uh-huh.
We used to use that magic
Sorry.
left to you now be typing it till you reach center.
Okay. So, hope you understand the logic now, right?
Yes, sir.
So, if you are creating timetable, this is what you do, because at some point they can say that all these header now should be vertically arranged. They should face up, while all the values under them will maintain the horizontal positioning. So that brings us to the end of this aspect. Now, the last
So I
topic.
have a question.
Okay, go ahead.
Like as this last name is now,
Hmm.
if you want to maintain the things under and let it be like this vertical, will it be so?
Wait, come again, come again. I didn't understand it.
The way this middle name now, the way things are under,
Okay.
then this last name now, you make it vertical like this, but it will still maintain the names. It will still retain all those names he has before.
Like here, Abby.
The way these middle names have some names down,
Yeah.
this last name now will still be vertical but has names
All this
down.
all this name will still be under it.
Yes, but it will be vertical. Will it be so?
I don't understand though. How possible is that? You have already spanned across the whole of those cells. Those cells does no longer exist now.
Okay.
You know, you
I
know,
was asking like maybe someone wants to put the heading like this, but he will still maintain.
you
Maybe
know,
he wants to put things under. He doesn't want the heading to take much space.
okay.
Then you do it vertical.
Yes, now this is what you do now. Let me go and do it to this one now. Let's say you still want to have this name, but this text will be vertical now. Is that not what you are saying?
Yes, yes.
Yes, now you will no longer do row span again. You will not do row span. You just go straight to writing mode. You understand?
Okay,
Do one inline.
okay,
Let me do one inline for you. So let's say this first name now, I can just come here. Let me just do inline. So I will just say what? Writing mode. So there's no need of spanning because that spanning is
okay,
to create more space for it. So I will just say,
okay.
so if I go back now, you see it now. Look at it.
That is what I'm saying.
Yes. So there's no need of you spanning in as much you are not looking for more space.
Okay, okay. I
All,
get it now.
all right. So now let's quickly look at supposing I have a gallery page. You know what we do with our gallery page? Our gallery page is where we showcase our work done. If you are creating a portfolio website, that is the page where you display the pictures or images of what you have done so far. So,
Uh,
and I have like 9 pictures of different achievements, and I want to display them in an array. That is what? In a unique way. I want to have like 3 per row, another 3 under it, another 3 under it. That means I'm going to have 3 rows, and then uh with each row having three image. Now, you can use table actually to achieve that. This is what you are going to do. I don't know if we have image here. Okay, thank God we have image. So all you need to do, this is the last topic on table, how to use, in fact, let me use comments so in case you are writing your notes later. So to how to publish, how to publish images with table in a web page, in a web page. That is what we are learning now as the last topic. So that you know that there's another important thing you can do as a developer with the table, just for arranging images in a unique manner. Now, I will just call the table, just pay attention. I will just call the table. Now, I'll open the table. I mentioned what I want to achieve. I want 3 different rows. Each of the rows, just like 3 different container, each of the container will hold three pictures. So at the end of the day, I'm going to have total what? 9 picture, 3 per row. So which means that I need TR 3 times. Are you with me? So inside the TR, I will just do TD. Now, inside the TD, instead of typing text, I will next IMG inside. That is what? I want the TD to hold image instead of text, like we imputed first name, last name. So I will now call my picture as usual. Go to this. I'll call this one. That is the first image. So while I am still inside it, because I say per row we carry 3 images. So I will now do IMG again and then reference the second picture, and then you do inside. You are still inside the table row, just like we added the TH the other time that defines all our table headings. So I'll do TD again, then next image tag inside it, then call my image part. So this is the third one. Now, if I go to the front end now, you see what we have. Can you see it now?
yes, sir.
Good. Now, I want 3 of them, 3 rows. 1, 2, 3. This one row, another set of 3 under it, another set of 3 under it. Then at the end of the day, I will use my CSS to probably work on their width in order to cover the entire page. So what I will do to save my time, I will just copy the whole of this TR that is already holding this set of images. Copy while you are still inside your table. Press enter, then paste. That is the second row. You are still inside the table, paste again. That's the third row. Now, if I go back to my front end, you see what I've achieved now.
Yes.
If you don't wrap all these images inside the table, it will be, as you are adding them, you will see that they will not arrange like this automatically. So the idea is that we want the images to be arranged like this automatically. Now, since all the images are in one container called table, so I can width that table 100% or 90% and float the table to the center of the page so that we have equal left and right margin. Exactly.
Yes, sir.
Let's try it. Let's try it. Let's assume that we want everything to be at the center of the page, and we want to also move it down a little from here. So the first thing is I'll class this table. I think that's the only table I have, so let me not bother classing. So let me still use internal because I know most of us have forgotten internal. Now I will just call what table, and then I will just say what width of the table should be 80% or 90%. Should be 90%. So let me check if there's any difference. What did you notice? As soon as you
It's expanded.
good. Now I will now what float it because is a block element. So since a block element, I can use margin concept because we don't have container floated to the center. We only have container floated to the left and the right. So what I'll simply do, I will just say what margin, and then I'll say what auto. So let's check if we have everything. You can see that it moved actually, right? It
Hmm.
because we did not say 100%. That's the reason why it's not giving us the space. So we can also add some margin. We can say that, okay, we want a general margin for all of them. And the margin should be like a 10 PS. It's different from auto. So if I click here, so you can see I have what? The 20 PS here. I have it here also, and then I have it here.
But
So
it's not affecting the last one.
where's the last one? Okay,
That last.
it's here now. The space is here, and the space is here.
Okay.
So now, if you want to increase all the images, you will just call img, or you will have classed them if you have other images. Or where you don't have other images, you can just say what? img, then you specify your width, because the width of the picture will also determine the behavior of the pictures within the cells in that table. So I can say height also. Height, I can just say I want a kind of square image, so I'm giving the same thing. So if I come here, you see what I have now. You see that as I width it now, is well arranged. So what is happening here?
Yeah.
What is happening here is that the image height is too much. You can see that the image is a kind of stretch, right? So
Yes, elongated.
let me reduce the height to like 300 based on the original shape of the picture. Good. So they are better now. Now I can manually push it like that your concept where you use margin auto and everything is not placed at the center. Then you can now start pushing it from the left gradually until you achieve your space. So let's, instead of using this margin auto, let's use a margin left to be pushing it. So margin left, let me push it by 20 PS and see what I have, if there will be need for me to. So I can keep pushing. Let me make it like 40. Make it like 40. Hope you are following. So If you notice that you are pushing and it's not going, go and reduce the width from 90%. Let me put it like 70. Because the width will have a way of affecting what happened. Now, I can just add borderline to that table so that I will know where it actually stopped. I'm just adding this just to know where it stopped. Solid, solid, let's say. I just want to use it to know, so you can monitor it. So you can see this is where it stopped. So let's see, we are pushing it from margin left. I will use percentage to push it. Let's say 30%, so that will move faster. 30%. So it's as if it's not moving. I think is the screen resolution. Screen resolution, but okay, if that should be the case, to be sure, because it might look placed at the center here, but on mobile, which should be your first priority, may not be at the center. That is why, because of the shape of your monitor, if it's landscape, if it is portrait, it will be at the center. But to be on the safer side, you use margin auto so that when it comes on mobile or small devices, it will automatically what? Adjust to their middle instead of this manual margin that we are using. Exactly. Are you guys
Yes, sir.
okay? So that is all about table. Any question? Who joined with laptop among you?
I joined with my phone.
Okay, so I would advise you, I would advise we create another class for the form so that we can start it and finish it. Let me allow
Okay.
so that
So I want to ask a question about this.
okay.
Like using this table now, like that thing I was trying to do with the other doing that last class we did. That was trying to put like price and this thing. Maybe as this picture is now, you want to put a description about the picture. Can you move it down, write something?
It will not work. You still use the you have to use that other method that I gave you.
Okay, this table will not work. It just meant for only display.
It will not work because the structure will not support it. Even if you
Oh,
mistake yourself, you will have done a lot of debugging. So it is easier for you to achieve it with the other one based on the structure. It's just for showcasing, not for displaying product for sales.
okay.
Just to show images of what you have done.
Okay, okay, no problem. You no go leave me.
He asked, yeah, who is here? Victory, Abi?
Eh,
I thought as much. You go chop cake tomorrow for office. So now what you will do, what you guys will do is to go and do all my assignment to this table, particularly this table, starting from HTML list. Just start from
okay, sir.
HTML list, HTML table. So we have just one topic left, which is form. So once we have covered form, then we will now start, developing a real life project with all these tags that we have learned so far. We'll now start creating the main website from the navigation bar to the main body to the footer and creating other pages and all that. So when do we think the assignment can be ready? So I will know when to schedule the next class. Let's conclude. So you can give yourself target.
Let's do by Tuesday next week.
Long, long.